there's other people that are interested to know about Eruvin. So I want to explain a few points. Okay, if we're already discussing that, so let's discuss it thoroughly to explain the concepts that are there. Okay. What is an Eruv? Eruv is when I have like few private houses, private domains that I want to gather them. That it will be one private domain together. Okay. So that's basically Eruv. Okay, so there is like Eruv Chatzorot, Shidduchei Mevot. I'm not going to explain all the details of all of the thing, but just like to get the idea. So you have a few houses. Now, if you have someone that is not Jewish, or that is Jewish but is not keeping Shabbos, is breaking Shabbos publicly, or is keeping Shabbos but he doesn't admit in the laws of Eruv, like doesn't accept the laws of Eruv. So all of those things is preventing the Eruv to apply. Okay, the Eruv cannot apply in this situation. So, if for example, so now I want to make Eruv for all of Yerushalayim. Yeah. So how can I make Eruv for all of Yerushalayim? Obviously, in like Yerushalayim is a big place. There's so many people. Many of them are not Jewish. Many of the Jews are not don't want to be part of the Eruv. They don't believe in the Eruv. They don't follow Shabbat, whatever it is. So how can I do Eruv like that? Okay, and all of the big Eruv in that of big cities. Yeah. So if you have like a settlement that is Jewish settlement that is surrounded with a fence, so that's easy. You can very easily make Eruv there. But when you're talking about Eruv of a big city, so it's very difficult. Okay. So they have to rely on a certain point, which is very hard to rely on, to my humble opinion, which is that the private domain is not really a private domain, meaning your house is not really your house. Why? Because if the city hall decides that they need to take over, so they have the possibility. They have the rule according to the rules of the place. The city hall or the army or the police, whatever it is, they have their permission to take over the private domain. Okay, so the rabbi is going to the whoever is in charge, city hall, like police, whatever it is that is in charge, and tell him, look, we have a certain thing which is called Eruv, this, that, so I need your permission that all of those people that for whatever reason they don't fit to the Eruv that we need to do, so you will use your authority to take over their place. Obviously they are still living in the house, no one is breaking into their house, yeah, but conceptually, theoretically, legally, however you want to call it, like the city hall is taking over their domain for Shabbat. So it will be that it can be ignored as if it's their private domain, and that it will be, and then it doesn't ruin the Eruv. Okay, so for me this is a very, very weak permission to rely on, because it doesn't happen. Like people are living in their house. It's not like you don't have anyone like taking over their property. Baruch Hashem, I'm happy for that. I don't want anyone to take over anyone's property, right? But it's very, very weak permission. So therefore, and that's only one problem. For me, that's a big problem. But there is other people that they think that this is the small problem, and the bigger problem is that you have like very, very big roads and parks that are not really part of the living domain. It's not a place that people are actually living there. So therefore, it is something that is ruining the Eruv. If you have like a okay, there's so many like details in the laws of Eruvin. It's not without a reason that they said it's one of the hardest subjects, because there's many nuances there. So, but basically there is like, that's as far as I know, the biggest problems that you have in the big Eruvin is those points that I said. The people that are not part of the Eruv, the big wide roads and like when you have like open fields that they are like they need to go through them with the line of the arrow. So what they do, they basically like doing those poles with the string on top, right? Yeah. So what is those poles with string on top? It's supposed to be like a gate, okay? Mm-hmm. So they cannot do a wall because no one wants to have a wall like across their fields, right? So they're doing those poles. So it's like as if you have a wall, and when you have a wall, you can make a gate in the wall, right? Mm-hmm. And that will be fine with the arrow. So here, what they're doing a gate for thousands and thousands and thousands of meters. So like, is that Eruv? Is that like you have like, do you have a border? It's like that's another thing. You understand? That you have instead of having like a fence or a wall or something like that, it will be like the line of the Eruv, where the border of the Eruv. Mm-hmm. So you have like a chain of gates. Okay. Yeah. So it's not. It becomes to be very, very symbolic. It's not. When you read the source of like the Mishnah and the Gemara of like how you create the borders of the Eruv, it doesn't really fit there. So it's like a certain loop that like that there is a permission. I'm not saying it's off totally. I'm not saying it's off. Okay, whoever wants to rely on that, there is like many rabbis that they permit it, but to my humble opinion, for sure it won't be lechatchila. Okay, you can rely on that, fine. If you need, you can rely on that, but if somebody is able not to rely on that, for sure it will be better. It's not the permission is not wide. It seems that it's not what the sages wanted in Reuven. Okay, but it's yeah, it's not simple to find a way to. The people that are not relying on Eruv and they are trying not to metaltel at all, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, especially in big cities. But for example, the Arizal, he did Eruv, and he did rely on the Eruv, but exactly what was the nuances of the halacha that he was relying on, what was his cheshbon to do the Eruv between his house to the mikveh, to the Bet Knesset, to carry around whatever he needed, we don't have a source for that. But I'm not saying it's off, okay? I'm not saying it's off, but I'm saying there is a reason for me to make my own little Eruv, that I know like what's there, I know who's there, I can, I feel more comfortable to rely on that. If I won't have a choice and I will have to like whatever, someone that needs my help in the old city and I need to give him something, whatever, okay, maybe I will rely on that, but I try not to. What's different about your Eruv? My Eruv is, like I said, there's no all the people that are living here are Jews that are like basically Shomer Shabbat. Even if somebody is not like fully Shomer Shabbat, but is not like breaking Shabbat like publicly, right?
So people rent out the area or the church
So the people that are renting, it's a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem, but the way that I relate to that is that it's not like a full rental that they will, if for example the cleaner of the motel will need to go in and to take something from the closet, whatever it is. So it's possible that someone will come in. It's not the full rental that it becomes to be their domain, their private domain, that they can not allow people to come in, So it's not the full rental. The relationship is not like a. So it's different. But you're right. When there is groups that are, for example, Rav Adler he doesn't like to metaltel to the Chaser when there is like groups that are renting around. Mm-hmm. So if in that Shabbos there's no one that will rent, so then he will go out to the to like his little yard with a book maybe. But if not, so he won't go out. If there is, he won't go out because of this problem that you said. Anyhow, forget about the guests. Usually the guests are not breaking Shabbos publicly. Usually the guests are giving enough respect that it will be like the minimum requirement that it will not break the Eruv. That's my cheshbon. Okay.
What about the guy in the laundry?
They are not living here. They're coming to work.
Don't they have like a house there for the?
It's not part of my Eruv.
Oh,
In my cheshbon of what is my Eruv, I make it that it will be just like for like the houses where we live and the Kever David and the yeshiva and the houses outside of the like the other side of the yeshiva of the Bet Midrash. Without.
Is there fences also? Or
so there is my only problem is that road that goes across, right? So that's called Mavoya Mufulash.
Okay.
And that Mavoya Mufulash, so you can relate to that as what to do with the Mavoya Mufulash according to the basic halacha. You need to have Tzurat HaPetach in one side and Lechi or Korah in the other side. Okay, so I have that. It's not like as good as I want it to be. Like the Tzurat HaPetach doesn't really look like Tzurat HaPetach, but I have something that I'm relying on that it will be counted as like Tzurat HaPetach and Eruv and Lechi and Korah, whatever.
on this side and that side? Or?
And all of the sides, yeah. So I have a cheshbon that it will apply to. I would like to make it that it will be more like stronger, but that's basically what I'm relying on. So for me, it's definitely better than the Eruv, all of the big Eruvin of the Rabbanut, the Badatz, the Belz, all of those. I'm sure that my little Eruv for the people that are here, it's better to rely on that. But whoever doesn't want, I'm not trying to force on anyone. You know, I'm doing according to my humble understanding, and I think it's much better this way. That you have like whatever is the problems that I have is much smaller problems. I don't have to rely on so much leniencies. I'm doing like the what I understand is the like the core of the rules of Eruvin. Yeah. And also it fits according to the Kabbalah to do Eruv every Erev Shabbos according to the Arizal, not like the big Eruvin they're doing like once a year from Shabbat HaGadol to Shabbat HaGadol. They're doing with the box of matzah. So there is a reason to do that because in Erev Shabbos sometimes the person will forget. So it's good to have like one Eruv that is like, you know, for taking in consideration for the whole year. Fine, I hear that. But according to the Kabbalah, it's a big thing to do Eruv every Erev Shabbos. So that's what I'm trying to do with the help of Hashem. And when I'm going away for Shabbos once in whatever, I'm asking someone else. So one time it was you, I think, right? Usually it's Rav Avraham or the Rosh Yeshiva, whatever. So if all what you need to metaltal is around here, so that's fine. But when you're coming from the old city to Kever David, or you want to come from the Shuk or from the Mea Shearim to Kever David, so my Eruv doesn't apply there, right? So you have to rely on the Bug Eruvin. So I have there is a rabbi that is like a serious rabbi that is coming to eat with me Shalosh Seudos sometimes from Bet Israel, from Mea Shearim area. So he is doing like a tiltul b'shinui. He's carrying, but in a way that it's not like the normal way to carry around. So he's doing a cheshbon that it's like shinui, so it's the Rabbanan. So he's relying on the leniencies enough to do tiltul in a way of the Rabbanan, on a way of shinui. That is cheshbon, you know. So there is a possibility like that. If you already have to like rely on those big Eruvin, so how can you do that? You can just do it in a way to put it. So for example, for him here is like his chassid. So you have like a, how do you call it, the code? Bekesh. So he's putting the whatever he needs to carry, like not in a pocket, like in the side of the bekesh that is inside, that is like is held by the belt that is putting on top. It's not the way that people usually carry. So it's in a way of shinu. So it's like those two things together. So that's enough for him to rely on. Okay. So that's an example. Like he finds like solution of how he can relate to it. Lamaisa, I can tell you that many like Haredi neighborhoods, they have their own small Eruv in their neighborhood. Yeah, I spoke with Rav Haas, that is in charge of the Eruv of Sanhedria Murchevet. When I started my Eruv, like I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, whatever, I started to do Eruv, so I spoke with him about it, and I asked him, like, is it possible to that I will do Eruv and I will say bracha? He said yes. And I spoke with someone else that is in charge of a different Eruv that is bigger, and this other rabbi, he told me, no, you can't say bracha, because if you're saying a bracha, so it's like you are breaking the other big Eruv, because you're not recognizing the other big Eruv, and therefore you can say bracha. So it's like, so you're ruining for so many other people, because you're part of inside of a big Eruv, and you're saying bracha for your little Eruv, so it's like you're not recognizing their big Eruv, so you're breaking that, and then all of the other people that they think that they have what to rely on, so you're breaking it. So I told this claim to Rav Haas that I spoke with in Sanhedria Murchevet, and he told me, look, there's so many problems with those big Eruvim. It's you can say bracha. It's like it's almost, it's like the leniencies that they are relying on is so far out, you can say bracha. So basically what he said that like those big Eruvin doesn't apply. Yeah. But the way that I decided to do it is that I'm making like a condition before I'm saying the bracha. I do say the bracha because it's a big thing to say the bracha according to the Arizal. There's like special meditation for that. So for me it's important. So I'm making like a t'nai that I'm doing this Eruv in a condition that it will be only beneficial. I'm doing it only for whoever it will be beneficial for him, and only in a way that it will not harm anyone around. So basically, as if I'm saying to Hashem, if it doesn't apply, so I'm taking on myself the as if it's not a bracha lebatala, but as if I'm taking the possibility that it doesn't apply, and then my bracha is bracha lebatala. Yeah. So in that way, so for those people that they relying on this big Eruv, so for them it's like I said bracha lebatala. Yeah. For me I didn't say bracha lebatala, but for them it's like I said bracha lebatala. Something like that. It's not a simple cheshbon, but that was my cheshbon. And I spoke with a few rabbis that they approved it. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of space to find your balance within that big thing which over Reuven. It's not simple. It's a very, very tough subject, and yeah, that's the easiest way out is not to do tiltul. So what do? You have to carry your siddur to the Bet Knesset. So a few times that I went to places that I didn't have like Eruv that I was able to rely on. So I just decided before Shabbos, like where I'm going to pray all of the prayers of Shabbos. And I went to Erev Shabbos to pray Mincha, Erev Shabbos, and I left all the Siddurim in the Bet Knesset. I hide it somewhere. And every time I went there and I prayed with them. And after Motzei Shabbos, I took it back. And so that's for the Siddurim. What else? You need a key. So there is the trick with the chain that you're putting the two sides of the chain on the key, and that way you can carry the key around.
What if you do? Have you do it?
If you have some people they need to carry a key with them,
yeah.
Right? So how do you carry a key in a place that you don't have a Eruv?
Yeah.
So you make a chain, and the two ends of the two ends of the chain you put them on the ring of the key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a belt, basically.
Here, I have a key, yeah?
Yeah.
So I have a string that goes from the hole of the key around, and the other side of the it's not like it doesn't go through the key, through the hole of the key, the string. The two sides are holding the key together. So if you took out the key, so there's no chain. Yeah? You understand? In this way, the chain is not hanging on the string, The key is not hanging on the string. The key is holding the string to be a loop. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
In this way, the key is essential to the loop, to the chain, and then you can carry it on your, like, on your neck, or as some people do it as a belt, like with a rubber, not rubber, like gummy, whatever, rubber, like around them, shoelace, whatever, something like that. But it have to be in a way that it's not carrying the key. The key is part of the garment. Yeah.
What, you're wearing it as like a ornament?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So for men, is that like
It's not the problem of lotil bash, because it's not like a whatever. It's not a problem of lotil bash. And another issue is like a mikveh towel. So you can just you can put the mikveh towel like a scarf. Yeah, that's what I do when I don't want to carry around a towel.
And then it's easy.
What?
Are you saying you're using it like a begging?
I also thought about this problem of maybe it needs a tzitzit, but Rav Adler told me that I don't have to cut the corner of the towel for that. He said you can count it on that like you wearing it like a garment, but it's not a garment. The usage of the towel is not the garment. Just to be able to carry it like to the mikveh and back, so you putting it as like a garment.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a twist, but it's wide enough. It's fine. So yeah, that's
But the key, meaning instead of putting through the, let's say, so instead of like taking like, let's say, a shoelace and just putting it through, you're saying you take two ends of the shoelace and basically are putting them in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What,
Okay.
in around?
Imagine yourself, I have a shoelace, yeah, so it have two ends,
Yeah.
right? So I take those two ends and I put them on the hole of the key.
Okay.
I don't connect them one to another.
Okay.
Both of them are connected to the key.
Okay.
So the key is what makes the loop to be a loop, right?
But how does it stick together?
Yeah, how does it stay together?
You tie it to the key. You tie both of them to the key.
Oh, you tie it to the key, but not.
You don't tie the
This is, well, fine. This is the shoelace. My hand is the shoelace, and here's the two parts, and this is like one shoelace thing. So now I tie this part to the key, and this part to the key.
fine. Yeah.
And so now what again that does? What again does it?
It makes it that the key is not hanging on the string.
Yeah.
The key is what makes the chain to be a loop. So if you took out the key, so there's no loop. There's no
loop. It's just
yeah.
one
So it
string.
becomes to be. It's not that you carry the key. The key is part of that garment of that ornament.
And then you can put it around your neck.
And then you can put it around your neck or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Clay chutzner, you have to have an eruv that you don't rely on in order to.
It's not an eruv that you're not relying on.
Okay.
If you have a closed domain,
Yeah.
but there is people that are ruining your eruv, like I said before.
Right.
So then, because it was designated to be a place of like people to live within, so that's basically the chatzer meorevet, that you can carry within that chatzer, but not from the chatzer to the house.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
You have an example? I mean, like, because somebody told me I could do in the old city, like I'm on Rehov Beit El. He told me I could do clay chutzner in the old city, for instance, with a siddur. Well, in that case, I would have to leave the siddur at the shul because I'm not going to leave it outside. But like with a key, I could. And that was also difficult because I have to make sure when I open the door, the key doesn't go in the house. But basically, he said like if I find a hiding place for the key, so I can keep the door.
I will suggest like this. I will suggest like this. For the siddur, you have to find like a place like next to the door that you can leave it there. For you to leave it in the street, it doesn't make sense. You can't leave it just in the street, right? Anyhow, I just I wanted to say before we finish that today is my birthday. Baruch Hashem. So the Ben Ish Chai says that there's a strength to give brachos in the day of the birthday, because the way of the zodiac system is organized in the same way that it was in the day the person was born. So in that power of the birthday, I want to give everybody a bracha that Hashem will help all of us to be successful in what we do, spiritual, emotional, and physical. And Bezrat Hashem, bracha v'atzlacha.
45, 46?